All right, today's agenda is to go over New Year's resolutions homework assignment, which requires us to build an application using model view controller design. And we're going to go over it. So I'll let you read the description of this homework. There are some guidelines and some requirements. I'm not really going to go over a lot of these details right now. I'll leave it to you to read the details. But it gives us this basic class diagram of what should be made part of this project. Of course, this is a model view controller design, so we have a controller which is central to this application to get organized and get everything working. There is a data object. This is like a business object which is supporting the business requirements of this application. Right, so this is the part of the data model is just one single business object connected to the controller. So basically, controller has access to the business object, and there are two views suggested to have in this application. We have a view main and the view history. So potentially. What I'd like to do is just like copy this image and start a little whiteboard definition of what I envision to build and what I envision to demonstrate today. I'll just copy and paste this little diagram at the very bottom of our okay. So let's talk a little bit about user interface design. So the plan is to have we will have an application which will be controlling two views or two separate windows as part of a single use case. So let's start with the main view. So the main view will be shown as soon as the application starts. And we're going to have this window with a title that says New Year resolutions, right? Fully spelled out. So here I just abbreviated to make it short. And we're going to display some resolutions. One, two, three, four, five, and so forth. So just make copies of this. There will be a number of resolutions to display. There will be more of those. And then, right, so this is what we're going to display. Then we're going to have two buttons. It requires us to have two buttons. One button says confirm, and another button says oops to undo. Basically, like if we confirm resolution in error, like by mistake. So let's just put this on our display right here. So this will be two buttons, and this will be these, I suppose. What I plan to do is that those are going to be labels. So these are going to be let me just fix the numbering here. So this will be number 2, number 3, and so forth. Just not looking very good. 1 second. Let's make it clear. 2 and 3 and whatever. This is like resolution N. Okay, and so these I plan to use labels to display these resolutions. You may use your own graphical user interface design, but in my case, these will be just plain vanilla labels that I'd like to use when I write some code. Okay, so it would be nice to keep these labels configurable, I think, make them configurable in terms of how many of these labels we want to make like a variable list of these. And that's pretty much does it for this main view. So we'll just, this will be our title bar, right, of the form with the next button right here. Right, and this will be our display area, usual stuff like this. So this will be our a main view, and let's fill this with some kind of background. Right, so this is going to be our main view right here, and the second form, the history, will just history. Oops, let's just get the title bar for this. So this is like a confirmation history. I can say confirmation. I ran out of space. Confirm history. Okay, and so here we could potentially just use like an area, like a text area, like multi-line text box, like this, just to experiment with the text area type of input box with multi-line display right here. And so this is where the history will be shown, like a list. And I think we're also going to hide, and so we're able to hide the this window. The user will be able to hide the window whenever they want to make it invisible. So this will be hide, and this will be our title bar once again right there. Right. Actually, let me make it a little larger like this, and this, of course, will have the X button to close it, and also the window right there. And I'll just use different background to make it visible on our little design diagram here. Okay, so this one will be this here. Okay, so that's what I plan to do with the user interface, to have two forms, and these two forms will be manipulated or controlled by this controller, and occasionally we will use the data class right there to retrieve the data to be able to show it in both forms. So that's the plan. Perhaps I can use some background here as well so that we can highlight these parts. Okay, so this is our little design plan. Well, first step that I'd like to do is to create this main form. And to be consistent with the handout, I will just use the names that are part of our handout. So this will be, for instance, the name of the main view class in our application. I already have my NetBeans running. We'll create new project for this, and officially this is our week 13, I think. So that's going to be the name for our project right now, week 13. Homework 5 demo. Okay, so that's the plan. Everything else looks okay. Created. And to begin, I'll just jump right in and create new JFrame form, right? The standard approach here, and give it the name view main. View main is the main window or main view of our application. NetBeans is taking me directly to the design view right here. So this box will be our main window here. My usual step is to add a pen to this form. So just like resize it, fit somewhere here, and this main panel, I will immediately change its variable name. Right click on the panel and right click the variable name, PNL view main, right? So same name, but with the prefix PNL, so that's the name of the panel. Of course, remember that as a general rule, I prefer not to drop any gadgets directly on the form, but rather have a panel which becomes just a blend-in box and contain my gadgets inside there. So let's start with a couple of labels. I would like to experiment with what I can do within the user interface. So what I would like to do is like to keep my New Year's resolutions, which is just plain text, whatever. Lose weight, quit smoking, start exercising, and all these types of things that people foolishly promise at the beginning of the year and forget quickly. Right, so we'll place these things in these labels. So to experiment with this, let's pick the label control and drop it on the form and start doing a little bit of experimentation here. So just look. Of course, my first step would be to change variable name, and I'll call it LBL resolution 1, kind of silly name, resolution 1. Okay, and change the label display temporarily, by the way, to say resolution 1. So this is a label. And of course, I can make a copy of it or duplicate it right here. Let's duplicate it, and that's the second one that gets created. I change variable name of the second one to, it already actually changed it to number 2, which is okay. Apparently the web just basically watching for the suffix at the end of the name of the control, finds 1 and says, okay, I can change that to 2, and that's what you get. So fine, so this I didn't have to change, but change the text to resolution 2. All right, so time to save everything, preserve the work. Looks fine. And now switch to the source. Yes, there's a question. Second,